Okay, so I was recently asked what was my absolute worst and best training run ever. I've had a lot of great workouts. I've had a lot of bad races and bad workouts, but I think probably the best training run I ever did was a 20-mile run, 32 kilometers, preparing for the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon. I ran the 20 miles or the 32 kilometers at 5:30 per mile pace. I ran it in an hour and 50 minutes and 2 seconds. And I would probably rank that as probably the best training run I ever did preparing for a marathon race. Because even prior to breaking the 2 hour and 20-minute marathon barrier, my best 20 miler at altitude was an hour and 56 minutes. So running an hour and 50 minutes going in the 2011 Monumental Indianapolis Marathon, I'd have to say is probably the best training run that I ever did leading into a race. My caveat to that is I want you to keep in mind as you train for your races, if you get in phenomenal shape, be mindful of how much further along you have to go before your race occurs. Okay, so when I ran that 150.02, I really should have adjusted my marathon. My marathon, the Indianapolis Marathon, wasn't for about another 6 weeks after I did that. I wish I would have found a marathon maybe that was around 2 to 3 weeks away, because I was in such phenomenal shape that day. So if you get in great shape and you get in superior shape, adjust your plan. Okay, probably the worst. I've had just so many different bad workouts over the years in terms of training. Not being able to finish workouts, missing paces that I was aiming for in races. I think all of that really, in terms of training runs, whether it was a race or just a training run in general, they all were tough to get over. But most importantly, as an athlete, you don't want to dwell on bad performances or bad workouts very long. That's a trait that the best distance runners I've ever trained with, Olympians, athletes that made world championship teams, world cross-country teams, that was a characteristic that they had. They don't dwell on bad races, bad performances very long. They're already thinking about the next race, the next workout. Okay, so don't beat yourself up when you don't have great workouts. It's part of the process. Remind yourself, the world's best distance runners deal with that. They DNF. They do not finish at times in races, and they have bad workouts just like you and I. Okay, so that's my answer. Hope you all continue to have great workouts this week, and I will talk to you soon.